Hey everybody, this is Steve Huff from SteveHuffPhoto.com. I'm here today with a dozen Sony FE lenses. That means lenses that will fit on your A7S, A7, A7R, A7R2, A7 II. These are all native Sony lenses. I'm going to go through each one at a time and give you a sort of one-sentence quickie thought on each one. We're going to start right here, waste no time. The Sony 28mm f2 lens. This lens I think comes in at under 500 bucks. And it's probably the best bang for the buck lens you could get for the FE system. It's 28mm, it's f2, you get nice sharp creamy rendering. Only downside is it does have some distortion. So the camera fixes it if you shoot JPEG. If you shoot RAW, you're going to have to apply the corrections on your own. So that's the 28 f2. Highly recommend it. I love that lens. We also have the original, the 35 Sony Zeiss f2.8. This is what came out with the A7 cameras at launch, and it's tiny. It's the smallest native lens to date, and it's a great little lens. f2.8 doesn't really matter. We're using full frame sensors, so you're still getting plenty of that shallow depth of field many of us crave. Here we have the Zeiss Batis 2 f2 25mm. This is one of my favorite lenses I've ever used on the Sony A7 system. This is a jewel. I'd say it's probably overall my favorite lens because it's light, it's small. You take off the hood, which there goes the lens cap. Gets even smaller, so it's not very heavy, and you also have this cool electronic display. Same goes with the Zeiss 85 Batis. Same thing, electronic display, comes with the lens hood. It's a fantastic lens for portraits. You're going to get that super sharp, creamy Zeiss pop. Same goes with the 25. Over here we have the Midicon 85 f1.2. Now if you want that little bit of extra speed, you can get the Midicon, whatever. But it's way heavier than the Zeiss 85. It feels like an all-metal steel rod. That's what it feels like. It's very heavy, it feels very well made. I haven't seen the internals, and you have that f1.2 capability, which you don't have with the Zeiss. So this lens right here, ladies and gentlemen, is I think around $1,000, maybe $800-900. I don't remember the exact price, but this is going to give you a different rendering, not as sharp and exact as the Zeiss, more of a classic creamy signature kind of thing going on, and it's manual focus only. The Zeiss are autofocus. So then that brings me to another manual focus gem, the Zeiss Loxia 50mm f2. Now myself and someone else did some tests against the Leica 50 Apo, the $7,000-8,000 50 f2 lens from Leica, and this, in some cases it beat it, in many cases it met it, and in some cases it fell a little short, but overall this is one of the best bang for the buck lenses. If you want a Leica feel on your Sony, go with the Loxia 50 f2 or the 35 f2, which I'm about to show you next. Right here, the Loxia f2 35. This is a gem of a 35mm lens. They're manual focus, but they feel great. They're small, and they work so well on the Sonys. This is going to give you that Zeiss rendering, a classic 35mm focal length. I love this lens. Brings me around to the Sony Zeiss 55-1.8. Again, one of the originals that launched with the A7 series. Many people adore and love this lens. It's a firecracker of a lens. It's sharp, it's crisp, has great color, medium to fast autofocus speed. I find it a little sterile, especially in comparison to the Zeiss Loxia, but many people love and adore this lens. Still a fantastic choice if you want an autofocus 50-ish prime. Now we're going to go here, and I made a mistake here because this is not a native mount lens, but I use it on the A7 series, the A7 II. This is the Voigtlander 15mm f4.5 version 3. So the corner issues are fixed in this version, and it makes for a great wide angle lens on your Sony. You do need a Leica M to Sony FE adapter though for that, or Sony E adapter. But I use this as a wide angle, and it works out great if you want to go small and you want that 15 focal length. Next, I'm going to pull out the monster Sony 90 macro, which is right here. If you see the 90 macro, it's a big lens. You have your focus distance here, your optical steady shot in the lens if you don't have it in your body. If you want a nice macro lens that doubles as a portrait lens, this one is getting raves from many people. I reviewed all of these lenses at some point in time, by the way. Next is one of my favorites, the Zeiss, Sony Zeiss 35 f1.4. This I proclaimed, as well as many others did, the finest 35 f1.4 I've ever shot with. For me, for image quality, it beats the Leica 35 Summilux, which is $5,500 lens. But at the same time, this guy's huge. It's big, it's a little heavy. On an A7, it's a little unruly, but the image quality is out of this world, even at f1.4. I mean, it's just beautiful. So if you want image quality above all, this is the lens you want to look at. You can see my review at stevehufpphoto.com. Looks like we have one more. This is the Sony Zeiss 16-35, the wide angle zoom. And this lens has grown on me quite a bit. I love this lens. Now I use it from everything for video, to landscapes, to even environmental portraits. It is an f4 aperture, so it's not a fast prime or a fast zoom, but at the same time, the sharpness and detail this thing creates on an A7 is absolutely fantastic. You will want for nothing in your wide angle needs when you have this. It is big if you compare it to, say, the Voigtlander 15, but again, it's autofocus and the image quality is fantastic. So there you go. There's a dozen lenses for the Sony FE system that I use, whole table full of them, and I just wanted to go over each one and make this a quick short video so you guys can see how amazing or how cool all these lenses can be. And this is not even all of the lenses you can get for Sony. So no more can we complain that Sony A7 system has no lenses, because here's a dozen right here, and there's many more out there that can be used on these cameras. So soon I will have a hands-on look of the new A7R II. So look for that. I just reviewed the RX100 V4. I also have coming up a look at the RX10 V2 Mark II. And a lot of cool stuff coming, so keep an eye right here on my YouTube. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. That's what keeps them coming. The more subscribers, the more videos I will put out. So thanks for watching, and always check back to stevehufpphoto.com for news, reviews, daily inspirations, and everything photographic. Bye.